Hi there, I'm Zane Franson, VP of Platform and Operations here at Simply Ask, and today I'm going to show you how you can create a generative AI agent. Now, to do that, when we first log in, we'll be brought to the My Summary page. Now, to go to the agent editor, what we'll need to do is go ahead and first navigate to Converse, then Agent Manager, and then when we open that up, we're brought to the Agent Manager view. Now in this Agent Manager view, we would see all of the different agents that we had previously set up, but in this case, we haven't set up any yet. So to do that, we're going to first click Create New Agent. Now there's a few things that we need to fill out here, like the agent name, the agent type, and tags. Maybe for the name, we'll give it something like knowledge centralization. We could give it a description, but we're not going to do that. And we also need to select the agent type. Now today, we're going to talk about generative agents. We'll have a tutorial video also on structured agents separate from this one. So we'll select generative. We can also add tags to help with organization. We may say internal, as this is an internal use agent, but you don't have to use this and you can call it whatever you want. So once we're all done, we're going to click confirm. Once we click confirm, we're brought directly into the editor. Now, one thing to note about these generative agents is to think about it that you're defining the framework of a conversation. What are the different things that you want your agent to be able to do? Or what we call them in here are objectives. These objectives are what you want to allow the agent to do or the possible conversations that it can have with its end users. So what this does is it keeps the conversations bounded upon the different actions you want it to do, and it won't go off topic and, start talking about random topics you don't want it to do. So to configure it, in our case, we're doing knowledge centralization. So maybe the first objective we want to define is search for answer, because we want to find answers in a knowledge base. Now we can provide additional objective guidance, and typically this is only needed when you're adding many objectives which may have some conflicting objectives or conflicting use cases. But in our case here, we're going to leave that out. Now, afterwards, we're going to set up possible actions. Now, the best way to think of these actions are once the agent is working towards one of these objectives, what are the things you want it to do in order to fulfill that objective for the end user? In our case, we're going to add an action, and we're going to go ahead here and select query knowledge base. And what that's going to do is it's going to search a knowledge base which we have already set up. Now, we haven't actually set up a knowledge base yet, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to just delete this for now. We're going to save this as it is, and let's go into settings. We're going to general. We're going to click knowledge bases, and we're going to create one. Now, a knowledge base is a source of information, or rather a collection of sources of information that you can use in order to have your automated agents or even your processes use to generate answers with our AI engine. So in our case here, we're going to call the knowledge base first KB. We're going to go ahead and create a knowledge source, and we're going to call this maybe company info, and we can select different types of knowledge sources here, and we'll have a separate video to go over this in much more depth, and our documentation does cover it as well. But in this case here, we're going to go ahead and select text, and we can enter in some company info here. So maybe this is just some background that we want. It could be like company was founded on June 1st, 2000. Or whatever information we wanted to add. Now there's other types of knowledge sources, but again, we'll cover that in a later time. So once we've added all the knowledge sources to our knowledge base, we can go ahead and create it. And once we've created it, then we can go ahead and actually use it back in our generative agent. So if we go back into Converse, in the Agent Manager, we can see the agent we created right here, and let's go and open it up. And now we can go back and set up the action in our objective. And so we'll go ahead and we'll click Add Action. We'll click Query Knowledge Base, and we'll select that knowledge base we just created, first KB. We're now going to add a name, and that could just be search for answer. And if we wanted, we could add additional actions as well. So there's other types you could add here, like invoking an API to get data or push data in real time. You can also have it execute processes that you've designed in Symphona. And you can also have other things like transferring to other automated agents or transferring to human. If we wanted to set it up, we'd simply maybe click transfer to human. We could call this frustration transfer maybe. And then the purpose could be if the end user is frustrated, transfer them. And so in that case, it would be able to transfer them to a live agent in order to have that conversation for support. Now, if we wanted to add more objectives, we simply can just click add objective and add whatever ones we want. And the key thing to note is that these agents can do a lot more than just searching for information. As you saw from the possible actions, it can be used to submit requests, make API calls, trigger processes, and so on. So maybe you wanted to have another objective like collect and create service ticket, for example. And then, of course, you could set up the related actions to do that, and so on. Now, you can do a little bit more fine tuning here in terms of if you want the agent to first greet the user by toggling that on here, and you can customize the greeting. We can also set up more specifically topics to avoid. As I mentioned, the agents will keep to the objectives that you've had, but if you want to fine tune it even further, you could do that here. And you can do some additional configuration like changing or specifying some more details about how you'd like it to respond. So we could say something like respond like a cowboy, and it'll do it. You could do other things as well, like selecting which AI model you'd like to use. And you can do some additional configuration like editing the ability to automatically translate from input to output language. So basically supporting any language you want, including references in your response if you're searching a knowledge base, and so on. Once you're all done configuring it, what you'll do is you'll go ahead and you'll click deploy. Now you can hook up these automated agents to both automated chatbot channels or also phone channels. And so to do so, what we would do is we click settings, we go into configure channels, and here we can link chat widgets that we've already designed or phone numbers that we've already provisioned. Now, both the chat widgets and the phone numbers you configure within settings. For now, I'm just going to focus on the chat widgets. And to do so, we'll go into settings, then we'll go into front office, and we'll see here we have one about chat widgets and one about phone number management. As I mentioned, we're going to focus on chat widgets. So let's open that up. Let's create a chat widget. Let's give it a name like my widget. And then we can configure the look and feel with ease, where if maybe we want to add in a logo, we can go ahead and upload an image, and I'll drag one in here. And then once it's added, it can be added there. We can also go ahead and adjust the colors. So if we wanted to have the colors of a certain style, we could do that. We can also adjust the secondary accent colors, which will further fine-tune the look and feel of it, but I think that's okay. And then we can also change other things like the title text, or maybe we don't even want title text and we can leave it like that. And finally, we can change other things like changing the AI over here, or we can enable file upload or disable it if we want to by default. Once that's all done, we can save the changes. We can go back to our agent in Agent Manager, and we can go back to configuring channels over here. Now, when we go back here, we can click Add Widget. We can select the one we just created, My Widget, click Add, and we have it here. And finally, to add this to our website, we just copy and paste these couple lines of code. Nice and simple, and once you do, your widget will immediately appear at the bottom corner of your screen. So thank you for watching, and good luck with your automation journey.